So today we might do the forms of Shibashi that are in bow stance. So there's 3 forms that we do in a row, starting in a bow stance. And bow stance is very simple. You simply step one leg forward. Our back foot is turned in. Our front foot and knee are in the same position, and we want our knee to be directly above the ankle. Now, make sure your feet are wide enough to as wide as your hips, as wide as your shoulders. If you have a narrow stance, if you're standing like this, you will not feel very balanced. So take your feet a little wider. And back foot can be kind of 45 degrees turned in. You want to find all 10 toes. So take a moment just to press down through the toes. And you might just really subtly lift the inside arch of your foot. And when you do that, or if you like, press into the outside arch of your foot, you'll feel these muscles, our adductor muscles in our thighs switch on. And this is that feeling of the legs kind of drawing towards each other and greater stability in the lower body. If you look at it from side on, it should look something like this. Our back leg is bent, so it's not, the knee joint isn't locked here, and the front leg is, or the knee is directly over the ankle. So there's 3 forms that we do in a row, and sometimes you can do them on one side and then swap to the other side, or you can alternate side, right side, left side, right side. There's no set way to do it, and today we might alternate, but we'll just break down the 3 forms. So the first one is scooping the C. So a lot of the times I see people really try and lean down and get to the ground, but this is not necessary. When we do this form, the point of the form is to really establish this deep roots into the ground through the legs. So all we're doing is gathering energy as we lean forward. So just come down as low as works for you. If you come down all the way to the ground, you will lose your connection with your back leg. So you want to keep this knee bent, and you want to just come down as far as your body allows. And this feeling is of gathering energy, water energy. And now we're leaning back, and then we're opening out and extending wide. So see if you can find the rhythm with your breath. So we're going to be inhaling as we lift, maybe a pause as we open the arms, exhaling as we extend out. Inhaling. Exhaling. So notice that there's a bit of a gap. If we rush from one form to the next, the body doesn't have this time to heal, to relax, to restore, repair. And you might like to just focus on the feet, focus on the legs. Often when people do Qigong forms, because they see the arms moving, they see this big ostentatious thing with the arms, they think it's all about the arms, but this form is all about the stability in your lower body. Let each breath come. Let each breath go. All right, let's try this form on the other side. So to come back in, we're going to step our foot forward and then step our other foot back. Find that width again. It might not be the same on this side. It might need to be a little bit different. We're not always even on the 2 sides of our body. Take a breath. Now, notice if you're kind of dropping your head towards the ground, or you're starting to look towards the ground. See if you can keep your head up, your gaze up into the distance. When we look at the ground, we also often lose stability. When our water element is out of balance, we feel fear, lack of willpower. When we bring it into balance, we start to flow, we start to have willpower. We move again. We have desire. All right, so from scooping the sea, we stay in our bow stance. We draw water energy into the body, and this one is pushing the waves. So our elbows are low, our hands are right up to our heart and lungs, and then we're just leaning forward, pushing forward. Now, you shouldn't be pushing so far that you lose your balance again. So just notice how far your body wants to go. If you look at me from the side, it all looks something like this. I'm drawing in, and then I'm pushing out. But notice that I'm not pushing, I'm not leaning into it. My hands are just pushing out. And then I curl in just like the waves, lean back. Listen to your breath. Create the space in between the breath. Notice when you draw the arms back, if you're drawing tension into your elbows or your shoulders, you might think of it as a push or a lean, but not extending your energy beyond the stability of your lower body. Gather each wave of breath in, and then allow it to flow out. Waves don't tend to rush in and out. They tend to take just as much time as they need. Let's step the foot in and we'll go straight to the other side. Make sure your lower body is balanced and heavy when you feel ready. Drawing in, sighing out. All right, and then our third bow stance form is usually called spreading the wings like a dove, something like that. And just start, still stay in your bow stance if you like. This time we're going to be leaning back to breathe in, and then shifting the weight to the front foot as we breathe out. Now notice I'm just shifting my weight subtly to the back foot and then subtly to the front foot, but keeping out my connection with both sides. Upper body doesn't actually move all that much. You might like to think of yourself as the bird flying. Their bodies don't change a lot, just the wings move. Just notice what's happening with your breath. You might like to think of it as opening, being vulnerable, and sighing out, letting go. And then we'll switch to the other side. Take your time. And when you're ready, opening. And one more. All right, so that's our 3 bow stance forms. We'll do the full Shibashi sequence in a sec. And when we get to those forms, just see if you can really allow each breath to come and go in its own time. Feel that sense of the flow of the breath through each movement. We'll start, as we always do, feet underneath hips and shoulders, weight in the back of the body. Just let your shoulders be heavy. You might like to look up into the distance. Our crown of our head, our halfway point is lifting up. Take a big sigh. And when you're ready, float the arms up. Into our second form. Third form. Our fourth form. Fifth form. Our sixth form. Seventh form. Eighth form. Ninth form. Now 10th form. Stepping out, our 11th form. Let's step back, we'll switch legs. Now 12th form. Stepping back, switching legs. Now 13th form. Stepping back, feet a little wider, our 14th form. Now 15th form. Now 16th form. Changing directions. Now 17th form. And now 18th form. Arms return to the dantian. You might like to just wrap one over the other.